Hello, Perdry. Very long never see you. Hey, anyone can turn on camera. Please turn on. Hey, Perdry. So happy to see you online. Okay, maybe let's wait for one more minute. Hello, who is PT? Oh, I like this song. I think it's one of my Zumba songs.
This is my daughter's favorite song. I mean, my kids love to sing this.
Oh, really?
K-pop
What
Demon
song is
Hunter mah.
this? Oh,
Oh,
jialat, I don't even know.
oh my god. I watched this so many times already.
All right, I think we should start. It's 3 minutes past. So thank you everyone for joining us today for this Gut Health 101. And my name is Shermin and I'll be your MC this evening. So a little bit more about myself. I used to be a financial analyst in Singapore for 12 years. After moving to Melbourne, I became a
Recording in
full-time mom of
progress.
two. Next slide. And now I'm a silver director with BWL, and I get to share more about skin health and overall well-being with my families and friends around me. So before we begin, let me quickly share what we have for today. We have a very special key speaker who will be sharing the science behind the gut health and probiotics. And I highly encourage everyone to stay till the end because we actually invited two guest speakers who will be sharing their experiences that many of us can relate to. And also we will have a short and then we will also have something special at the end too. And before we begin, maybe let's look at the slide. Next slide. Another slide. Yeah, let's look at the slide. So are you all familiar with all this food? Like how many of you have eaten any of at least one of these food? Yes, like kombucha is now very common for, found in supermarket. Uh, and then kimchi, yes, kimchi is also another popular one. Wow, so many people like kimchi. So do you all know actually all these food have something in common? They are actually fermented food and they are naturally contain probiotics which are good bacteria for our gut. So for many generations, actually different cultures have been eating this food to support digestion and health. See, we have kimchi in Korean cuisine, miso in Japanese cooking, and tempeh in Indonesian food. So actually probiotics is actually not a new concept. people have been consuming them for a very long time through food. So here comes the very interesting question. If this food already contain probiotics, why do people still need to take probiotic supplements? Next. Next slide, please. Because most of this food, right? Oh yes, because they are also rich in um these two bacteria that I cannot even pronounce it, but we will have the key speaker to be able to do it. But these two are rich in these two bacteria are to balance your gut bacteria for better digestion and immunity. Next. So why do we still need probiotic supplements? Next. Because the amount of probiotics in food can actually varies a lot. So it really depends on how the food is prepared, how it's being processed or being stored, and the number of live bacteria will be maybe inconsistent. Okay, so how much food can we take every day? If you look back at the photo, there are 7 types. We can't be eating all of them each one every day. Even then will not be enough to support our body. And in order to process them, they are mostly high in sugar and salt too. And then next, not all probiotic strains, previous slide, not all probiotic strains actually provide the same health benefits. If maybe our key speaker will share more. Actually, different strains actually support different type. It can be for digestion, it can be for immunity. It may also affect our help with our skin health. The last but not least is our lifestyle, our stress level, our sleep, our water intake, antibiotics, processed diets. All these actually disrupt the balance of of the bacteria in our gut. So that's why many people today actually turn to probiotic supplements because they can provide a specific strains in a controlled amount. So that brings to a very big question. If you walk into the pharmacy today, into chemist, you will see dozens of probiotics brand with so many different types. Even with the same brand, you can see different types of probiotics with different CFU, different strains. You're like, how do we choose? And then most of us will just choose based on what's the dollar value, right? But what we actually should be looking at is which probiotic is the right one for us and our family. Today, we are very fortunate we have someone who studied this topic at a scientific level. She's a scientist in immunology from University of Melbourne. She will help us understand how the gut health is actually important for our body, how to choose what these labels mean, and how to choose for ourselves and our family. And I'm sure you will leave today with a clearer understanding of this topic. Without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Florence Lim.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Shamin. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Woohoo, hi Judy. Thanks for coming in. Yes, very honored to be here today to share with you guys a bit more information about the gut health. Thanks, Yvonne, for the welcome music as well. This is a topic that I actually hold quite dear to my heart because, next slide, please, Yvonne. Because back in those days, so I actually did my PhD at the University of Melbourne, and my lab actually did a lot of research. Hello, Bien. My lab actually did a lot of research, as I'll elaborate a bit further later, on different diets and how it affected different diseases, right? So, and that also affects, and we know diet affects the bacteria that we get in our body. So I worked at the University of Melbourne for a few years, and then after having kids, then I decided to become a stay-home mom. But this topic still is dear to my heart. And next slide, please, Yvonne. And now I am a happy mother of two, but still very much a wellness and health advocate. Because the reason why I actually chose science and more importantly, immunology as my major was because I wanted to understand more about the immune system and I wanted to know how to help other people to be healthy. My wish every year is just for people around me to be healthy, really. I kid you not. So now my kids every year they will like, I wish for mommy and my family to be healthy. Yeah. So, because we're all moms as well, so we understand the importance of having a happy and healthy family. And it all starts from us. We have to be healthy before we can care for our family, and so we can pour from a cup that is full as well. So we all talk about gut health, how to stay healthy, right? And how it's so important. Next, please, Yvonne. But what actually is the gut? Is it just your stomach? No, actually, the gut actually starts from your stomach and it goes into your small intestine and also your large intestine. So it's made up of your digestive tract and it also includes your microbiome as well. So next, please, Yvonne. It includes like the trillions of bacteria that's actually living mostly in your large intestines. Okay, so when you say that you have a healthy gut, next please, Yvonne. When you say you have a healthy gut, it's not just that you have really good digestion. Some people say that I go to the toilet every day, I have a very healthy gut, right? But in fact, you need to think about something that's beyond your digestion. Do you have also a strong immune system? Are you constantly feeling, relaxed, happy? Do you have mood swings? Do you fall sick easily? And do you have a balanced microbiota? And that's something that people don't normally think about, right? Next slide, please, Yvonne. Because something that is less known, but also recently more researched and looked into is that our gut's actually connected to almost every system in your body, right? So it is the command center in our body. So if something feels off, you suddenly feel like you're not feeling very well, you have mood swings, even though you think that it may not be related to your gut, you might want to start looking into your diet and also like whether you are having the right food to grow the right bacteria. Because imagine your gut like a garden, okay? So whatever you feed your garden, whatever you plant into your garden, it will make your garden bloom. It will make it flourish, right? Or if you are eating some things that's not really that great, then you might have a lot of rubbish in your garden and a lot of weeds. Okay. And that might be affecting different parts of your body. The brain, the gut-brain axis is also very well researched nowadays. Your lungs, your heart, kidney, liver, your bones and your skin. A lot of people have started to become more aware of the gut-skin axis now, but even your reproductive system as well. So all of these things are actually really closely connected, right? So if you don't know where to start taking care of yourself, start with your gut first, because that's where everything begins. Okay. And next, please, Yvonne. And recently, it might come as a surprise to a lot of people that your mental health is actually connected to your gut as well. Do you know that more than 90% of your happy hormone, serotonin, is actually produced in your gut? When you exercise, when you feel happy, then, your gut's actually the one that's in charge of producing the happy hormone. So if you feel like you feel anxious, you feel depressed, or you have mood swings, you might start to think about, am I taking care of my gut first? Instead of relying on outer, medication to suppress your things, your symptoms, you might start taking care of your gut first. And we all know how, can you see this? You probably can't. Okay, how digestion, is mainly what people associate with the gut first, right? If you feel like your child is eating a lot, but they're not growing, you don't see them gaining any weight or growing, you might start to think about, is their gut healthy? Are they actually digesting what they are eating, or are they just passing it out? That's also a very key information. Okay. Immune support. Yes, because we now know that 70% of our immune system is actually in our gut. Okay, so whatever bacteria that we have in our gut, it actually affects the immune cells, the 70% of immune cells that exist in our gut. Okay, so it will affect whatever diseases that you may have, depending how you take care of it. So like arthritis and diabetes. So back in my lab, we actually focused a lot on diet and diseases. So we would feed mice with different diets. So there was high fiber, high fat, or normal diet. And we would see which sort of diet actually protected the mice from diseases like arthritis, autoimmune diseases, and asthma, etc. And not surprisingly, high fiber diet always wins because fiber is actually the food for our probiotics, for our bacteria. So if you feed it with healthy food, then you're skewing the bacteria in your stomach, in your gut to the healthy side, and that will help your immune cells. When they interact, immune cells to actually work better to fight out the diseases. Whereas if you feed it like the American diet, which is like, hamburgers and fatty food, then you actually grow more of the bad bacteria, and that does not do anything to help you in combating those diseases. Okay, so that is something that we have tried and researched, and it's clear that take care of your gut, feed it the right food, and you might be protected from these kind of diseases. Okay, next, something less well known. So our gut's actually connected to our, sorry, Yvonne, previous one, please. Our heart's connected to our gut as well. So cardiovascular diseases, our kidneys, obesity, and also eczema. We'll elaborate a bit more about that later. Asthma and also non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Okay, all these chronic diseases are actually also linked to your gut. So take care of your gut and all the other diseases, they will get better, And I want to highlight something as well. So we are also aware of the brain, the gut-brain connection now. And very scary to say is that if your gut is unhealthy today, if you're heavily constipated today, 10 years later, you might be at a higher risk, next Yvonne, higher risk of actually developing Parkinson's disease. Right. So if you have damage in your gut, you actually have a 76% greater risk of developing Parkinson's, and that is very scary. It's no longer a disease that originates in the brain. It actually originates from your gut. Okay, so take care of your gut, people. Okay, next, please, Yvonne. So I'll elaborate a bit more about the gut-skin connection because we all know that the skin is actually our biggest organ of our body. So whatever reactions that we may have actually translates onto our skin like more quickly. Like, if you get hives or rashes, or eczema. And I'll explain a bit more on the science behind it, but also very simplified version, okay? So don't be too stressed. So when you have bacteria in your gut and it's not balanced, okay, so you have more bad bacteria compared to your good bacteria, and that's called a dysbiosis. So it's imbalanced, okay. So when you have more bad bacteria, what it does is that it actually causes a syndrome called the leaky gut syndrome. So imagine your gut to have like a net, a lining of the net, okay, and then the holes in the net get bigger. So then all the partially digested food or the toxins from your gut actually leak out into your bloodstream. Then your cells, will start to say, or immune cells will start to say, alert, alert, something non-self or something invasive is happening. So then it starts to induce like a full-blown inflammatory response. So it starts to attack whatever that is. And then in that process, you feel it, you see it. So you have the flare, you have hives, you have the rash, you have psoriasis, and these are all induced by whatever that's in your gut, the dysbiosis, the imbalance in your gut. And that's the fastest way for you to see it and also to alert you that something's wrong, you need to fix me, okay? So that's why when we see a child with eczema, for example, the first thing we look at is not to give steroids or any topical creams. The first thing to do is always to fix the gut first, okay? Next, please, Yvonne. So if you look at all these symptoms, can you think, which ones actually apply to yourself, to you or to people around you that you know of? Skin issues, some people might have a patch of eczema, on their ear, behind their ears, or just some patches here and there. Do you fall ill easily? Like when the weather changes, you just start getting like a blocked nose or you fall sick. Are you constantly feeling sick no matter how long you sleep for? You sleep for a full 8 hours, but you still feel like you have this brain fog. You can't remember what you did, you cannot focus, or you're just constantly tired. Or more straightforward, you always have a stomach upset. Symptoms like inflammatory bowel disease, whatever you eat, you have to go to the toilet right away. Yes, brain fog. Everyone gets that sometimes too, right? And food intolerance, like allergies. A lot of people in Australia have allergies as they are born, dairy allergy, shellfish. All your husband, guess who needs to start taking probiotics? Yes, so all these symptoms, right, is a very gentle warning from your body to remind you to take care of your gut, right? Yes, inflammatory bowel disease. So that's what happens when you cannot eat a lot of things. No, I know some people who get IBS and then they actually need to take away their curries because they really enjoy food, but they have to take away their curries because the moment they eat it, then they have to go toilet right away. There's an explosion. So which is very sad. But after taking probiotics consistently, then they got better and they can actually eat all the kinds of food that they want to eat now without having to rush to the toilet, which is a plus. Okay, so these symptoms, think about it and think about what may cause it. Okay, so next slide, please. Yvonne. Okay, so we talked about all the symptoms, but can anyone give me any examples of what you think may be the reason for it? Like what is disrupting our gut microbiome? What is causing the imbalance? You guys can give me some of your answers in your chat group, in the chat room. Any examples of what may cause the imbalance in the bacteria? Processed food, yes, because, KFC, oh, my favorite. Fries, alcohol, yes. Yep. All these things, all the culprits for our imbalance. Next, please, Yvonne. Yes, oh, you guys are good. I wish I had presents for you guys. Stress, Sharon, yes. Drink your water. So number one, okay, very straightforward, fast food. Yes, Yvonne. High in processed, because nowadays the society that we live in, we don't really eat whole food anymore. Whole foods, like actual meat and actual vegetables, is a lot of processed food, hamburgers, nuggets, fries, a lot of, spam, ham, yes, or sugary food, and we all think it's really normal, it just appears on our table in our kids' lunch boxes a lot, but we forget that they're actually not naturally produced, and that's not what our body actually likes to eat. Dessert, okay. And number two, age. We cannot avoid that, as we age, our body system starts to the functions start to decline, and then diversity of our bacteria also starts to decrease. So we cannot avoid that. All we can do is just to try to help, okay, to supplement that. And we also, medication is also one of the main reasons for our gut microbiome being disrupted. Have you guys ever been to the doctors and being prescribed like a strong antibiotic? And then at the same time, doctor also tells you to take probiotics as well. Because what the antibiotics actually does is that it actually wipes out your entire village of bacteria in your gut. Like whether it's the good ones or the bad ones, they all die, and then you have to replenish with probiotics. So even the doctor knows that as well. But why does he still give you antibiotics? Because he wants an immediate treatment, he wants to fix whatever that's happening to you immediately before it creates even more damage to your body. But probiotics are essential. He also knows that it's crucial for you for your everyday life, because of the importance of the gut linking to different parts of your body.
Sorry.
Yes, what are you saying? Do you also take probiotics? And number four as well, lifestyle. Okay, so stress, somebody mentioned stress earlier, so lack of sleep. So all these things, right? I know in this current day and age, we cannot avoid, you still need to take a medication if you are feeling sick, but what you can do is to take care of your gut, daily, consistent, good habits so that you can have some cheat days. Take some fries, have fast food on some days. I like my KFC as well, but I've learned to, not take them too regularly. And you can have a cheat days, and then your body shouldn't react too much to it because it's healthy. It's healthy, it's balanced. So a little bit of like, negative lifestyle shouldn't cause too much of a difference to you. Okay, next please, Yvonne. Okay, so how do we pick the right probiotics? That's the million-dollar question, right? Next please, Yvonne. So I don't know how many of you have actually stood in front of the pharmacy, in front of all the number of brands, especially in Australia. We have so many different brands, so many supplements, probiotics in the fridge, outside the fridge, probiotics for women, for kids, for men, for elderlies. Oh my goodness, so many differences. And then the numbers, how many billions do my kids need? What does CFU even mean? All the details. So today I will explain the differences between all these probiotics and how for you to choose one that's suitable for your family. Okay, next slide, please. So the four main things that we look for in a probiotic supplement actually would be number one, the number of CFU, okay, which stands for colony forming unit. So it just basically means how many, so every bacteria, imagine them as one dot. Okay, so that one dot, it will multiply and it will grow into one colony. Okay, so it forms a colony, so that's why it's called for colony forming unit. So minimum of 5 billion bacteria, live bacteria by the way, would be ideal. Okay, because imagine what I said earlier, you have trillions of bacteria in your gut. So 5 billion would be not too much, but enough for you to make a difference. Okay, for you to colonize your bacteria, your gut, to make sure there's enough good bacteria in there. Okay, number two, preferably don't use the ones in the fridge. Imagine if there's anything that goes wrong during the transportation system process to get to your pharmacy and to get to your house. All the bacteria that require live refrigeration would die, and then there's no point taking them anymore. Or then you can't take your probiotics when you're traveling, right? Are you gonna keep a cooler bag in your luggage all the time? No, right? Find something that's convenient for travel. And why would it be stable at room temperature? Because you need to look at the encapsulation method. So the way that the probiotic was actually protected, was produced, it needs to be coated like, medication, your medicine, they have a capsule over it, right? So that you take it. So the same thing for your live bacteria as well. It's also coated. Okay, and encapsulation is actually really expensive. Enteric coating is a very expensive process. So the more process it takes, then the more safe it is, the more stable it is when it gets to where it should be. Because it needs to survive past your stomach acid, your gastric juices, to digest all of the things. So if it goes into your stomach and it's just dead, it's just useless. So if you think about your yogurt, your Yakult, your probiotics, your kimchi, all these things, they contain probiotics like what Shamin mentioned earlier. But if it dies at your stomach, is it worth eating? I mean, does it actually work? No, right? You need something that's actually stable that can actually enter where you want it to be. And number five, the number and types of strains. There are many different strains out there, and you need to look for the ones that are actually clinically trialed. Okay, if it says that it has 30 different strains of bacteria in the probiotic brand that you're looking at, but it doesn't say if any of them are clinically trialed, which means that they can just be there just for show. It's not proven or shown to do and make any difference. And from a scientific point of view, I like evidence. I like to see that it's actually backed by science. So next, please, Yvonne. So I've got good news for you guys though, because there is actually a brand that I know of that actually ticks all the boxes of what we're looking for, okay? So this brand here, it has 30 billion live cultures that are actually protected by 5 layers of nano coating so that it's safe wherever it goes, from your swallowing it, esophagus, and then back into your stomach. It will survive all of this digestion process to get into your large intestines, so where it should be acting, okay? And it is conveniently packaged in a sachet, so it is stable at a room temperature. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. And it also has 5 clinically trialed strains, out of which 4 are patented. Okay, we will go through that a little bit more later. Next, please, Yvonne. So the name of this brand is the Avance LB30. Okay, and we are very proud to say that last year, our Avance LB30 has been shown to be the #1 probiotic brand in Singapore. Okay, so we're very proud about this because we know that Singapore, we have very high standards, very high quality. So for us to actually win this award, it is a true honor. And almost every household in Singapore actually know of this brand and take it. Even doctors in Singapore as well also recommend patients to take it because they themselves have families and kids, and they themselves also take LB30. Okay, next please. Right, so as I said earlier, our LB30 actually has a patented coating, 5 layers, as you can see over here. So every single layer, it dissolves as it travels through our body into the gut. Okay, it's got 30 billion probiotics, and it's actually really, really yummy. So my daughter takes, my kids take 1 a day, but then sometimes my daughter, she likes it. The flavor, it's yogurt flavor. It's really yummy and it's convenient. She tears it open and she just takes it like that. And she's like, Mommy, I need to eat 2 today. I was like, why? Oh, I'm a bit sick. Because she knows that if she's sick, then I'll ask her to top up, to take 2 instead, just to boost her immunity. Right? So she pretends to be sick just so she can take it like candy, but it's not candy, it's good for her. So I'm like, okay. And then it's very easy to take out. When I was in Bali last week, I took a whole of LB30 to travel with me. It was stable and I took it in my bag. And if there was any sign of bloatedness or any stomach upset, I would just take 2 immediately, and then almost immediately I would feel the symptoms getting relieved. It acts really quickly, and it's suitable for everyone, adults, children, and elderly, and it's a very pleasant flavor, very convenient. Okay, next, please. Okay, as I was saying just now, strains. You will see strains, and why do the names matter? It might get a bit confusing, so we'll break it down and give a really good comparison here. Okay, so animals. Animals, we can split them up into reptiles, mammals, and birds, right? Very simple. So, but there are different kinds of mammals, so we'll just specify them into, different kinds: horse, dogs, and cats. Okay, so let's be a little bit more specific. So then we can also split up dogs into types of dogs. They can be a Labrador, a Schnauzer, Dalmatians, Chihuahua, all kinds of dogs. So when we think about our probiotic strains, we can also think about it in the same logic. Okay, next slide, please. So animals, would be probiotics, and then our types of animals would be the genus. Okay, genus. So then when we say Lactobacillus, that's the genus. So we can't stop there. We have to actually go to the next level, which is the species, which is a type of mammal. Okay, the type of Lactobacillus, which is Paracasei. And then we go further into the type of strain, the strain that is patented, that's specifically patented, which means that no other company can actually produce this strain in their probiotics. And it is called GM080. So that's a type of dog. Okay, so we're getting really specific here. So when you're looking for probiotics, when you're looking for an animal that you want to adopt, you want to get a Labrador. When you're getting for probiotics, you want to get specifically Lactobacillus paracasei GM080. Okay, I hope this makes sense and you guys are following so far. Okay, good. Yes. Okay. So in LB30, the reason why, funny fact, LB30 is called LB30 is because we are made up of lactobacillus and 30 billion of it. That's why we are called LB30. Okay, so now you won't forget lactobacillus. So lactobacillus is split up into different kinds of lactobacillus as well. We've got Paracasei, GM, NL, 133. And 1, 2, 3, 4, all four of these lactobacillus strains are patented. Okay, so company actually researched it and did clinical trials on them and found out that they actually are effective in reducing allergic reactions. Like this GMNL133 actually improves atopic dermatitis. So there is this fellow scientist, his name is Dr. Fritz in Singapore. He actually has atopic dermatitis, so bad that his hands actually crack. And if you guys know, like as a scientist, you have to constantly wash your hands. You wash your hands before you enter, well, when you enter the lab before you put your gloves on, and you wash your hands after you take off your gloves. So you might wash your hands up to 20, 30 times in one day if you're going in and out all the time, right? So you know how hand washing makes your skin really dry? And that poor guy, he eventually developed really, really dry hands and atopic dermatitis, then his hand would crack. And he had lots of different doctors, gave him topical steroids and different solutions, different creams, but none of them really, really worked. He would get steroid withdrawal if he stopped, and it come back again. But he tried our LB30 after doing his own research on it, and it actually helped him. So he has been actually steroid-free for about 2 to 3 years now, if I'm not mistaken, and he's really happy. So what he does is he applies like topical moisturizer, our Dr. Secret range moisturizer and balancing oil, just to keep the skin moisturized, and also with the LB30 to balance out his gut. Okay, so on different strains as well, specifically for reducing allergic reactions, to reduce any overreaction of the immune system, like eczema, like allergy to dairy and nuts, We know a lot of other customers who, after taking LB30, also has reduction to these allergies. They can start taking dairy now, they can start taking nuts after a while, or even hay fever. After taking LB30 for 1 year, it's not instant. One year, the hay fever symptoms get a lot better. Okay, and the last one here, Bifidobacterium longum BL2. So this is the strain that's most commonly seen in pharmacies. So when they tell you that it's for improving bowel movement, for general gut health, this is the strain that you will normally see. Okay, so it really depends on what you're looking for in your probiotics. If you're just looking for a healthy digestion, then by all means, look for something that only has Bifido. But if you're looking for like a more upgraded function, like, for general immune health, reduce allergic reactions, and actually helping your kids to recover from sickness, from virus infections faster, and then you might want to consider trying LB30. Because my kids, they rarely fall sick, and even if they do fall sick, they actually recover and bounce back a lot faster than their friends. And then when they pass it on to us, we don't get it so serious either. A lot of kids, one kid falls sick and then the entire family is just gone. The parents take leave. And it's terrible. So I understand that because I've got 2 kids, But yes, it doesn't have to happen all the time. Okay, next please, Yvonne. Yes, and then yeah, very simply, who can consume LB30? Everyone, anyone, as long as you're above 3 months old. At 3 months, generally we start with half a sachet first, and then eventually after 6 months, then they start with 1 sachet a day. Okay, it can be for general maintenance, or if they have eczema, they might be able to up the dose after trying it out and making sure that nothing is going wrong, like they don't have any intolerance. Even if they do have lactose intolerance, they can still take it because there's actually a very little amount of lactose in our LB30. If you are unhealthy, if you have a really bad diet, very bad lifestyle, alcohol, yes, dairy allergy is something different. So you need to find out if they're actually allergic to lactose or dairy, because lactose just means that they cannot digest lactose, okay? Or they can digest it, but just slower because they don't have the enzyme. But if they are dairy allergic, then that is a different story because LB30 is actually cultured in milk. Yes. Maybe we'll take questions a little bit later after I finish. I think I've only got three more slides. So if they are allergic to dairy, then yes, be very, very careful with LB30. Maybe I have to ask their doctors because LB30 is actually cultured in milk. So it might be a bit dangerous for them then in that case. So unhealthy individuals, bad lifestyles, bad diet, sleep late, stress or bad diets, definitely please recommend them to take probiotics, take care of your garden. Okay. Healthy individuals, they might feel that they're healthy. They go to the toilet every day and, pass very easily. But do they actually have a good immune system? Do they have a good balance of a good diet, for example? So that's also something that you can consider. I've got also some customers who tell me that, they usually go to the toilet, but after starting on LB30, then they suddenly become constipated. Okay, but this is just a process, it might last for 1 week, 2 weeks. Just make sure that during the process of taking LB30, you're actually drinking lots of water, 2 liters at least a day, and also making sure that you're taking enough fiber. Okay, so all of these things is a combination that actually helps your LB30 to work better in your body, okay? Next slide, please, Yvonne. And yes, ultimately, with this talk, I just want to let you guys know that good health begins in your gut. If you don't know where to start taking supplements, always start with probiotics first. Okay, start taking care of yourself and start with probiotics. And every single brand is different. Look for something that's suitable or what you would like to improve for your family and yourself as well. Okay, and also every single strain is made differently. Okay, look at if they are patented, look at if they are has any clinical testings done onto them. And last but not least, probiotics are not medicines. So don't take it and expect for it to work immediately. Okay. So we all know prevention is better than cure. Okay. That's why if you take medicine to stop the symptoms or any damage that's being done immediately, like if my kids have a fever, like more than 38.5 degrees, I still give them Nurofen and Panadol, right? But I also give them probiotics daily as well, and also extra probiotics when they are sick so that I can boost their immune system. Okay, and also you can never overdose on probiotics because it's just naturally found in your body. So my kids actually go take up to 6 sachets of LB30 in one day when they are sick, especially if they have diarrhea, food poisoning, after every time they go to the toilet, then I give them 2 sachets. So maybe 2 every 2 hours, for example. But yes, prevention is always better than cure. Make sure that you take your probiotics consistently. You're actually watering your garden every single day or every alternate day. As long as you're taking it consistently, then you will have a healthier gut so that if you do fall sick, you bounce back much faster. Okay. And then, yes, okay. We will also that's what I think, and that's what the scientist in me actually has verified with the company and what the company has told us about our probiotics. Okay, so next let's hear from users who have actually taken the probiotics and actually seen the results themselves. Okay, real life users. So our first testimonial speaker today, I would like to invite Miss Ashley Tan. Yeah, Q&A will come after testimonials, guys. So stay till the end, okay?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Oh, suddenly so nervous. So hi everyone, I'm Ashley Tan and I've been a beauty therapist for about 20 years now. And currently I'm also studying health science in naturopathy. But today I'm here not an expert, but I'm just here to share my personal skin journey. So about 6 years ago, my skin condition was very bad. I had inflammatory acne pigmentation and a lot of acne scarring. The acne that's, as you can see on the screen, is not just visible, it's also very painful and itchy. So sometimes it was so uncomfortable that I have even used the mint toothpaste just to cool my skin because honestly at that time nothing seems to work. So as someone who worked in the beauty industry for many years, it was actually quite discouraging for me. Then about 6 years ago, I started using Dr. Secret skincare. And at the beginning, I slowly noticed that my acne started to calm down. It didn't disappear overnight, but I could see my skin becoming less inflamed and more stable. And around that time, I also had a chance to join some sharing section from our co-founder, Dr. Doreen Tan. And one thing she mentioned really stays with me. She said that our skin often reflects what is happening inside our body. So during that period, I started supporting my skin from the inside with advanced supplements. So what I started, next page, please. I started with zinc, which supports skin healing and is commonly used for acne-prone skin. Then I added a super EPA, which helps support the body with there is any inflammation. And of course, I started taking LB30 probiotics to support my guts and internal balance. So after 2 months, my skin was already much calmer. The active acne reduced and the redness started settling down. Then over time, especially after a year, my skin became clearer, brighter, and healthier compared like to before. But I must be very honest with you. Even though I take supplements, don't think that just because you take supplements, everything will be perfect. Like what uh, Florence said, because of your lifestyle, like eating habits like me, I love KFC. So when I see my skin's very nice already, I like started to eating KFC, fried food, like spicy food, because I thought, wow, got my supplements. But actually, your skin still can get into trouble. So in fact, like last November, during those winter times, right? Wow, those spicy food, hot food, everything, getting back my lifestyle, then suddenly my face became quite terrible again. So when that time, luckily we have Dr. Doreen Tan to come over to Melbourne last November for our Supreme. So I asked her what happened to my skin. Like, can you give me some like skin regime or like what should I eat? So when she looked at my face and immediately she said something very funny. She was like, your mouth need to shut. Meaning that I need to control what I eat. So she told me that all these inner health problem that she can already tell. So that moment, it really reminded me again that our skin really reflects our lifestyle, what we eat and how we take care of our body. So for me, this journey taught me that good skin is a good combination of good skincare, good inner health, and also a little bit of discipline of our lifestyle. And I'm still learning that every day. And so this is my sharing for today, and I'll pass it back to Florence.
Thank you, Ashley. Yes, I have a funny story to share. When I first met Ashley, right, we actually were roommates for our training session in Brisbane. And she was carrying two big bags, one bag of skincare, our Dr. Secret skincare bag was this big. Okay, and then another bag, identical bag. I was like, oh, how much skincare are you bringing? And one bag's actually skincare, one bag's actually supplements, Then only I realized that, oh, wow, Ashley really takes her supplements very, very seriously, And she brought all the, EPA fish oil for reducing inflammation, zinc for helping her acne to repair faster, and also LB30, So, and also, yeah, lifestyle. Thank you, Ashley, for highlighting that real life example. KFC is great, right? Okay, our next testimonial that I would like to invite today. So we've heard from a personal point of view, her amazing transformation from acne skin into now her skin is beautiful. I've seen it personally, and also sharing that to all around her because she's a beauty therapist as well. So I can imagine how much more fulfilling it would be when her skin actually reflects her normal lifestyle and habits as well. But now let's hear it from a family's perspective, from kids. So let's invite Buffy.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Buffy. I'm mother of 5 kids. That's a lot, right? I'm from Melbourne, and I used Dr. Secret for 7 years, but I just taking the supplement from 5 years ago, when I have my twins pregnancy. And the reason why I start to take the supplement from Advance is because, every woman need to do the blood test, right? And the doctor will tell you you lay off like vitamin D or blah 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 something. So I'm thinking instead of going to pharmacy to choose the brand, choose the product, I'm not really sure. I'm rather than choose the product I already used for 2 years. So I start to try the probiotic, because in my previous pregnancy experience, I always have constipation. So I want to avoid this happening again. And the second is I know because I'm having the twins in my last pregnancy, so I know I'm going to do the C-section, so operation. So I want the collagen on my tummy is a lot. So to make sure, the mark after the operation would be beautiful. So I start to taking collagen and HA jelly. So I believe this is the 3 product. Oh, another one is CalMed. So make my late pregnancy sleep well. So this is the 4 product when I start this supplement, advanced supplement. And mother always want to try the product before providing to kids. So I'm the first one to try the probiotic in my family. And all of my kids are very healthy. They don't take any supplement until until we have the road trip to Sydney when my twins was 2 years old. And next slide, thank you. Because the road trip will take around 2 weeks, and then it's long drive from Melbourne to Sydney. So my twins start to taking snack gummies and also a lot of fast food, as Florence just said. The fast food cause the inflammation. So her skin start to getting itchy, and then as you can see, the first picture is all of the blood, and then I need to bring her to the emergency because the steroid cream cannot stop this. So you see, you will, I think if you have the kids that have the asthma, you should be very anxious, when they keep itching at nighttime, the whole night they can't sleep well. So I bring her to the emergency, and doctor give her the Aventon because I believe that time is around Christmas holiday. So I can't put any GP, so I have to go to emergency. And so she always use the strongest steroid cream, which is Aventon. And then I need to take care of her food, what she eat. She can't eat any melon and then any like high sugar things, and like the grapes, strawberry thing. She can't take any of that. And in the whole year of 2022 until 2023, the whole year, every month, I think I need to spend like 50 to 100 bucks to buy the steroid cream for her. And then once I see her symptom calm down, I stop the cream, and then the asthma coming back. She start to itching. So you can see her eyes, around her eyes area get rash, and then her knees, everywhere in her body. It's very, it's very I'll be very worried about this because the face cannot really put any steroid cream. So I asked the GP even give her a little bit of the steroid eye drop. I'm not sure you guys know that or not. And yeah, but the reason why I want to stop to providing her the cream, also eye drops, is because I got customer is adult, and then she has been applying the steroid cream for few years. I mean many years. And then once we use Dr. Secret skincare product, help her to recover back to the healthy skin, the process of that, her face getting swollen and also inflamed, flare out. So it's very scary. I don't want my kids to be like that when she grow up, when she's apply the skincare product. So I decide to stop to put in the steroid cream on her. So instead of that, I give her something can help her immune system. So the Immugen is one of the product, and then the other one is what Florence just tell is the LB30 probiotic, because I know there is one or two or three strain in this pack in this probiotic is helping maintain the immune system to be balanced. And I know the reason why cause the itchy issue, the asthma issue, is because their body is actually inflamed. So I want this one can help her to, be balanced. And for the rash, the body always itchy and then the skin barrier is already weak. I use the skincare product I trust. The first one is the Aqua Boost, because this one have hyaluronic acid, can help her to strengthen the skin, also give her some hydration. Another important thing is this one can help her to repair skin barrier. And this one is very gentle. Once you apply in the wound area, you won't feel any uncomfortable feeling. Especially around eye area, kids cannot, give her something, really healing and strong. So I give her the really gentle thing. And then once her rash getting better, I apply Balancing Oil mixed with the moisturizer. I remember the chat room, somebody is asking about this. If the rash is really serious, it's very itchy and then bleeding, you can't apply the moisturizer immediately, because of course when the product is active ingredient, it healing up really good. I mean, the result healing up is really good. You can't apply immediately. The kids will feel uncomfortable and sting. So I put it step by step. So I put the Aqua Boost first, and then I want her skin barrier to be built stronger. So at the last stage, I put the Balancing Oil mixed with the moisturizer cream. So now you see the right side photo. She's very happy. She don't feel itchy anymore, and then she don't have to take probiotic every single day. I think right now she's 5.5 years old. She's just taking like 2 times a week, unless season change or people or kids in the school, many people get sick. I will ask her to take more because I want to prevent she gets sick. So yeah, this is the skincare, also the supplement I provide to my to these twins. And then because my case, I want to share with my friend, because a lot of my friends have this asthma issue on their body. So I share online with my friend. I share the photo, and one of my friend, her kids get sunburn. So, sunburn, the skin barrier break. So it caused the itchy issue, the skin barrier weak, and then caused the asthma. So she come and ask me about how I try with this product. And then another friend is the very good friend, and her, I think two or three of her kids taking so many different cream and also Chinese medicine for a few months and doesn't work. And you know what? I provide her because last year I provide her the new product, which is BioSC, and also the skincare product for her. Of course, including the probiotic, and then her kids, I think, heal up faster in 3 or 4 days, and then she's very happy. But she's very regret she didn't take any photo before she applied. But she is really happy with the result compared to the things she tried before. So I'm very happy my case can help, so many other kids. Right now, when I traveling or go anywhere, the only thing, I mean, the prioritized things I would take is probiotic, because I don't want my kids to get sick or, food poison when we travel to different countries. Yeah, this is my sharing. Thank you. Thank you, Florence.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Buffy, for your sharing. Oh my God, when I saw the photo of her daughter's eczema on the wrist, it's just so heartbreaking, you want to help the kid, but then you don't know how. And what Buffy was saying earlier about her friend, her adult friend, who after trying the skincare and then she started having a lot of rash, a lot of inflammation on her skin.
Yeah.
That's also part of topical steroid withdrawal, right? When your skin
Yeah.
relies on it too much, it accumulates all the medication, all the toxins in your skin, and then the skincare is just trying to draw it all out. So it's a painful and it's a long process. It's something that we do not want our kids to go through as well. So thank you, Buffy, so much for sharing your experience with our probiotics and also how you keep your kids and your twins healthy as well. Thank you so much. So now we know what to do. Okay, Q&A time. We had a few questions just now. So Judy asked just now, and Buffy also replied already on whether you can. Oh yes, about scented moisturizers. So in a bit more detail, basically when you have eczema, right? Like what Buffy said, your skin barrier is already weak, it's sensitive, it's compromised. So that if you use scented moisturizers, that it might trigger it.
Recording stopped.
Be more inflamed. But in terms of our balancing oil, right, it has certain ingredients in there that actually helps to soothe irritation. So you can use it if you are worried, like what Buffy said, you can mix it with moisturizer or you can mix it, dilute it a bit before applying onto the skin. Or use Aqua Boost as the base first, okay? And then the next question was, yes, can you mix LB30 with milk to drink? Thank you, Shamin, for answering that question. Yes, so with my kids, right, before they started taking the sachet like this, just a simpler way, I used to put it into their milk and mix it with them. Okay, so you want your milk to be not too hot because obviously bacteria will die if the temperature is too high. It's above so room temperature, human temperature is about 37 degrees. So if your milk is room temperature or slightly warm, it's okay. You just mix it together and they can drink it, okay? But the best would be to take it straight away or to mix it with like in a tablespoon so you don't waste the LB30 if you mix it in a big cup of milk, comparing, okay? Hope that answers your question. How do we take care of the gut for those with dairy allergy? What can they take? Well, with dairy allergy, it can be a little bit more complicated. You have to consult your doctor for that one. They can try taking half a sachet of LB30 as well. But then, other than that, there's really nothing that we can suggest unless the doctor says that they can. Okay? Okay, and the next question, I think that's Kelly. So SIBO, so that's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, right? When there's too much bacteria living in your small intestine. Okay? So basically, when you have SIBO, then it causes a lot of bloating. You're burping and then constantly, and it's usually because of the imbalance as well of the gut. Too much. So taking LB30 probiotics, it will help to balance out the good and the bad bacteria in your gut, in your small intestine. So definitely yes, that will help. They might feel uncomfortable at the start. If it's too much bad bacteria, they might actually experience diarrhea at the start because your body's trying to expel all the bad bacteria. So it's a process as well. So continue to drink a lot of fluids, water, and also take your fiber. Okay. Next, is there a limit? No. As I said earlier, there is really no, you cannot overdose on probiotics. My kids have taken up to 6 sachets a day. The legal technical recommendation would be 4 a day, but based on personal experience, we have taken more than that, way more than that, and we are fine. Because bacteria, basically, imagine you have trillions of bacteria in your gut, okay? And then probiotics, even if you take 4 a day, or 6 a day, it's only going to be, what is it, 180 billion, you know, and that's only like less than 2% of what you have. 2%? No, less than 20% of what your gut, the whole pool of it has. So imagine a swimming pool, and then you pour a little bit of the bacteria inside. It's just 20% or less. So it's not going to overtake or overturn it too drastically immediately. Yeah. So especially if the kids have eczema or food poisoning, or IBS, for example, if they have a condition, they will need to take about a lot more. Yes, I shared a true life story of IBS. She's actually someone from Singapore. Her name is Dilis. You can look her up on Instagram. She shared her story as well of how she had really bad skin. Her skin was very red over here. So her skin, IBS actually affected her skin as well. And she would run to the toilet all the time. So she would always just take away her food and eat at home, which was very sad. But after taking LB30, and the reason why she took LB30 was actually very funny, because her doctor was prescribing her a really expensive brand of probiotics in Singapore. And she took LB30 because it was the cheaper option. Okay. But when she started taking LB30, suddenly she realized, I actually feel better. You know, for IBS, depends on what other conditions that she may have, but generally we would suggest 2 in the morning, 2 afternoon, and 2 at night. So that would be 6. Yeah, but it also really depends on if she has other conditions as well and how serious her IBS is. Yeah. For people with these kinds of issues, the first thing to do would always to be consult the doctor first. Okay, and then doctor says, yeah, go ahead. You can also show them the different strains in there, show them the box, and then doctor says the green light, and then you can go ahead. But really, you cannot overdose on LB30. A lot of people, they start strong first. They take a lot of probiotics, a lot of sachets to start, but once it stabilizes, like Buffy's kids, they now only take it every alternate day. Not even every day anymore, because their condition is stable, their garden is flourishing, is blooming, you know, all the good bacteria are already in there. Rosacea. Also, rosacea is a condition where your skin is inflamed, you know, you have a weak skin barrier. So yes, LB30 actually helps with skin conditions, you know, acne skin, sensitive skin. So if you have somebody with rosacea or with sensitive skin, or impaired skin barrier, definitely recommend that they take LB30 as well. Okay. If they have acne problems, they can also take our borax seed oil as well. So that's something that I'm sure Ashley also takes, because that helps to also balance out our hormones to prevent the overproduction of the oil in our oil glands during our periods as well. So that also reduces the acne. So rosacea, I would recommend taking LB30, and also zinc, just for better skin health as well. Any more questions? And like I said, you know, if you are healthy, you can also still take LB30. You know, your parents, if you want them to, you know, stay healthy, or like be even more healthy. So my dad also started taking LB30 last year as well, because he actually had a gastric ulcer that we all didn't know about. And suddenly he just did. So then since then, I've been, you know, asking him to take 2 a day regularly. And then he's been going for checkups, and then he's been fine so far. So yeah, and he's been very diligent. I know a lot of old people, they forget, you know, but my dad, he's very diligent when he takes his supplements. So that's good for him. Any more questions, guys? No? Okay. Severe eczema, take injections time, take 4 sessions long term. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I know some kids, or you know, they need to take injections. I think it's called Dupixent. That's the most latest thing. So it basically blocks the pathway for the inflammatory pathway. Yeah, of course, take 2, you know, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, and then when you find that it improves, generally it will improve, like, you know, I would recommend them to take it for 3 months. 3 months if you want to see like really good results long term. After 1 month, you know, some people who actually respond better, they might start to see improvements already. I have a friend, a customer who actually had psoriasis. The psoriasis was induced after her COVID injections, and she had to actually get injections to suppress the immune system. Okay, so after taking LB30, she actually found that she could delay the frequency of her injections. She used to take it every 6 months, but now I think it's been about 2 years now before she had to take the injections, and she buys LB30 by the cartons. She buys one whole year's supply whenever it's on promo. She just buys the whole carton, the whole year's worth, because she knows that she'll be taking it long term. Okay, what's the best time to take before bed? Yes, we didn't mention that, sorry. So the best time to take it is when you're on empty stomach. So first thing in the morning when you wake up, or before you sleep at night. So like, a period of time before, after you finish your meals. So then you can absorb the LB30 better. Okay. You can mix it with water, mix it with milk, anything that makes it easier to take. But generally, even my kids, I think my daughter started taking it just straight away like that when she was 3 years old, I think. She saw her brother doing it and then she just copied. And then they love it. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for questions. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to text me directly. Find me on Instagram. My name is just Florence_LIMEX. And next up, I think our MC Shermin has something really important to share with you guys. Let's invite Shermin.
Thank you, Florence. Thank you so much. I think we have learned a lot today. Yep. And I think I really like how Florence talk about how the gut health is our command center. This is really mind-blowing, and I love, really thankful for her to invite Ashley. Ashley's testimonial on her skin is really impressive, and as herself as a beauty therapist, she also needed taking supplements to help with her skin. And also with Buffy's kids, it's really very heartache to see her baby skin so red and inflamed. And then so thankful they are taking supplements as well, and now they are happy kids. All right, so as mentioned, I'm a financial analyst, so I really love to help people to save money, and of course, I must share some deals with all of you, and also to thank you for your time for joining this call today. So actually, we have this month's promotion. It's LB30 buy 2 free 1. So it's buy 2 box, free 1 box, and you get to save 30%. You save $95 because the usual price per box is $95. So then, wow, this is really good deal, 33% is really a lot, okay? But then come to think, you look at myself, most of us, we have 2 kids. So so 4 of us in the family. So you're thinking, three box is not enough for 4 of us, right? And then and as Florence said, supplements we need to take at least 3 months to see effect. So maybe 3 wouldn't be enough. We have a better deal for you next. So we actually have 9 plus 6. So you buy 9 boxes, you get free. You get free 6 boxes, and not only that, because that's $855 with this month's promotion, minimum $800, you get 1 free moisturizer. So I don't know whether y'all notice, Buffy also give her kids this number 6 moisturizer on her baby skin when it's very inflamed, and mixed with balancing oil, right? So this is a very good deal. You can save almost $700. That's like 45%. And what's even more best deal is unlimited. So you can get up to 3 sets of this, means you will get 3 moisturizer. Yep. Next. And if you have friends or family with Buffy's kids has very bad eczema, they probably need something not just inner health, but also outer skincare to help support. They can consider this pack, which has cleanser, aqua boost, refining serum, all big bottles, and balancing oil. And they can try to buy 2 free 1 box of LB30. And this pack is worth $800. This pack is cost $813, but you actually save $220. Yeah. So, oh yes, and I even add a regime at the bottom. If you look at it, it says 2 LB30 in the morning and 2 at night. Yeah, it is really a lot of savings. All right, and that's the end of today. Thank you so much for joining today's call. We will see you next time.
Do you want to take a group photo first before we leave?
Oh yeah.
If we can all
Anyone, if you
turn on our
can turn
cameras.
on the camera.
Hi, Kelly.
Oh, so this is Kelly. I
This
look
is
at the
Kelly.
name.
You'll see
I
her
was
on Sunday
thinking,
as well.
Kel. I thought it's a guy, you know.
I guessed it, KEL.
Okay.
Hi, Sharon.
All right.
Hi, Judy. Thanks for turning on your camera. Oh, look at your background. So nice.
All
So
right. And today,
hi,
we are still
Alexia.
in March. And because buy two, free one, let's show number 3.
Oh, yes, 3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hey, wait. I
You're
can't.
doing this.
Hold on. I forgot the command already.
Did you get
Still
it?
cannot.
Okay, let me try.
No.
I try.
1, 2, 3. Okay, I got it.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Hope you guys
Everyone.
learned something.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. If any more questions, Judy? All good? Oh.